The summer I turned 21 was supposed to be about exploring a new city, making connections in my chosen field, and maybe having a little fun. I landed a coveted internship at a prestigious design firm, and I was ready to soak it all in. My supervisor was Mr. Harrison. He was everything I wasn't expecting. Older, yes, probably in his late 30s, but with a kind of quiet intensity that drew me in from the first moment I saw him. He had this way of looking at you, like he really saw you, and it made my stomach do a little flip. Are you with me? Type 1 in the comments to let me know you're still watching. He was married, of course. His wife's picture sat on his desk, a smiling blonde woman with bright eyes. I told myself it didn't matter. He was my boss, and I was there to learn. But the way he would sometimes linger by my desk, asking about my weekend, his hand brushing mine as he pointed something out on my screen. It felt like more than just professional courtesy. Have you ever had a crush on someone you knew you shouldn't? Could you share your thoughts in the comments? The office was usually buzzing with activity, but sometimes, late in the evening, it would quiet down. Just the soft hum of the computers and the distant city sounds. Those were the moments I started to feel it the most. Mr. Harrison would often stay late, and I would too, eager to impress him. We'd end up working side by side, the silence punctuated by the click of our keyboards. But the air between us felt thick, charged with something unspoken. One evening, everyone else had left. The only light came from our computer screens and the soft glow of the desk lamps. Mr. Harrison leaned back in his chair, stretching, and his eyes met mine. There was a different kind of look in them that night, a look that lingered a little too long, a look that made my heart pound in my chest. Long day, he said, his voice a low rumble. Yeah, I managed to say, my throat suddenly feeling dry. He got up and walked over to the window, looking out at the city lights. I watched him, the way the light caught the sharp angle of his jaw, the way his shirt stretched across his broad shoulders. I couldn't look away. You're doing great work, Sarah, he said, turning back to me. Really great. His words were simple, but the way he said them, the intensity in his gaze, made them feel like so much more. He walked back to his desk, and as he passed mine, his fingers brushed my arm again, this time a little longer, a little more deliberate. A shiver ran down my spine. Still with me? Drop a yes in the comments to let me know you're tuned in. The next few weeks were a blur of stolen glances, lingering touches, and hushed conversations. We started finding excuses to talk, about work, about life, about everything and nothing. I learned about his passion for photography, his dreams of one day opening his own gallery. He learned about my ambition to make a mark in the design world. With every shared secret, every knowing glance, the line between boss and intern started to blur. One afternoon, he called me into his office. The door was closed, the blinds drawn. My heart hammered against my ribs. He was standing by the window, his back to me. Sarah, he began, his voice low, almost hesitant. I need to talk to you about something. I waited, my breath caught in my throat. He turned around, and I saw a vulnerability in his eyes that I hadn't seen before. I know this is wrong, he said, his gaze searching mine. But I can't. I can't deny the way I feel when I'm around you. My breath hitched. He felt it too. The same electric current that ran between us every time we were near. Mr. Harrison, I whispered, my voice trembling. He took a step closer, and then another. The space between us felt charged, like a live wire. He reached out, his hand gently cupping my cheek. His touch was warm, firm, sending a wave of heat through me. Call me David, he murmured, his thumb tracing the curve of my jaw. I closed my eyes, leaning into his touch. It felt so right, so inevitable. The air crackled with unspoken desire. He lowered his head, and his lips brushed against mine, soft and tentative at first, then growing bolder, more insistent. Have you ever felt an undeniable connection with someone, even if it seemed impossible? Share your experiences in the comments. The kiss was everything I had imagined and more. It was a culmination of weeks of longing, of stolen glances and whispered words. It was a moment where the world outside his closed office ceased to exist. What do you think happened next? Leave your predictions in the comments below. Things escalated quickly after that. Late nights at the office became less about work and more about stolen moments, hidden kisses, and whispered promises. We found ways to be near each other, the thrill of the forbidden adding to the intensity of our connection. It was intoxicating, dangerous, and I knew I was playing with fire. He was married, after all. But in those moments, when his arms were around me, when his lips were on mine, nothing else seemed to matter. One evening, as we were leaving the office late, he suggested we grab a drink. My heart skipped a beat. This was new, stepping outside the confines of the workplace. We went to a dimly lit bar a few blocks away, finding a secluded corner booth. The conversation flowed easily, our laughter mingling with the soft music. He reached across the table, taking my hand in his. His touch sent shivers down my spine. "I can't stop thinking about you, Sarah," he confessed, his eyes locked on mine. "Me neither, David," I admitted, my voice barely a whisper. The night unfolded in a dreamlike haze. One drink turned into two, then three. We talked for hours, sharing our deepest fears and desires. As the night drew to a close, he walked me back to my apartment. When we reached my door, he didn't hesitate. He pulled me close, his lips finding mine in a passionate kiss that left me breathless. The summer internship was coming to an end. I knew I would be leaving the city soon. A part of me was terrified of what would happen when I left. Would this just be a fleeting summer romance? Would we ever see each other again? What do you think the future holds for Sarah and David? Share your thoughts in the comments. The last day of my internship arrived too quickly. Saying goodbye to David felt like tearing a part of myself away. We shared a final lingering kiss in his empty office, a promise of something more hanging in the air between us. As I packed my bags and prepared to leave the city, I couldn't help but wonder what the future held. Had I just experienced a summer fling, or was this the beginning of something real, something that defied all the rules? Only time would tell. That's it for this story. Now, I want to hear from you. What did you think of Sarah and David's story? Do you think their connection was genuine, or was it just a temporary infatuation? Drop your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating stories and explorations. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. For more immersive content, make sure to subscribe to my channel.